For many Americans, Al Roker has always been exactly where they expect him to be, standing in front of a weather map, translating storms and sunshine into something understandable, even comforting. He's been part of morning routines for decades, coffee poured, curtains opened, television humming softly in the background. Al's familiar presence has marked the start of countless days. And yet, familiarity can sometimes blur the fuller picture. Because beyond the news desk, beyond the forecasts and breaking updates, there is a man whose passions and inner life rarely make headlines, but quietly sustain him. Al Roker's career has been defined by reliability. He shows up prepared, engaged, and grounded, even when the day's news is unpredictable. That steadiness has earned trust across generations, particularly among viewers who understand the value of consistency earned over time. But a life built entirely around responsibility can feel narrow if there isn't room for curiosity, joy, and personal expression. Away from the cameras, Al has long embraced interests that reconnect him to himself. Cooking, storytelling, travel, and the simple pleasure of learning something new, these pursuits aren't distractions from his work, they're what make the work possible. For viewers in their 60s, this truth feels familiar. Many of you spent years focused on career and family, often postponing personal passions until later chapters of life. You learned that fulfillment doesn't come from one role alone, but from balance. Al seems to understand this instinctively. His passions aren't loud or performative. They reflect a desire to remain curious, to engage with life beyond obligation. In a profession defined by urgency, these quieter interests offer grounding. And alongside him through all of this is Deborah Roberts. Deborah is not simply a supportive presence. She is a respected journalist with her own demanding career. She understands deadlines, public scrutiny, and the emotional discipline required to tell other people's stories with integrity. Their partnership is built on mutual respect, not competition. In their shared life, there is room for both seriousness and lightness, room to discuss the weight of the day, and room to set it down. Deborah understands that the man the audience sees each morning is only part of who Al is. For couples who have spent decades together, this kind of understanding feels deeply recognizable. Long marriages aren't about merging into one identity, they're about making space for each other to grow, even after many years. What makes Al Roker's story compelling isn't reinvention, it's continuity. He hasn't abandoned responsibility in favor of passion, he has learned to carry both. That balance reflects a wisdom often gained later in life, the understanding that joy doesn't diminish seriousness, it strengthens it. In a media world that rewards constant output, Al's ability to nurture interests beyond the desk feels quietly radical. It suggests that professionalism doesn't require self-erasure, that dedication can coexist with delight. And perhaps that's the deeper takeaway. Behind every trusted figure is a human being with layers, interests, and private moments that restore them. Recognizing that humanity doesn't lessen their authority, it deepens our connection to them. Al Roker's legacy isn't just about forecasts or familiarity, it's about longevity, about staying curious in a demanding profession, about building a life that holds both duty and pleasure. With Deborah Roberts beside him, he has created that balance. One shaped by respect, shared values, and an understanding that life is richer when it's allowed to be full. For viewers who have reached a stage of reflection, this story isn't just interesting, it's affirming. Because it reminds us that even after decades of responsibility, there's always room for passion, and that the most meaningful lives are built not only on what we give to the world, but on what quietly gives back to us.